I wish elected officials would stop talking about this case, especially in a manner that is disrespectful to the rule of law and to the judicial branch in our function.
Judge Cahill there, who's handling the Derek Chauvin trial, criticizing Congresswoman Maxine Waters, describing her call for, quote, confrontation if Chauvin is not found guilty, abhorrent, and suggesting that politicians should not interfere with the judicial process.
For more on the politicization of the Chauvin trial, we'll bring in our panelists for today. We've got Kelly Hyman, Democratic strategist, joining us live, attorney Amanda Mackey, and Republican strategist and former GOP congressional candidate in Florida, and David Grasso, anchor with Bold TV. Good to see all of you here. I'll start with Amanda Mackey on this. When the judge had some harsh words for Maxine Waters, his concern is that the jury is going to hear her comments and feel external pressure to convict. Again, that's the concern. Here's Judge Cahill's response.
I think if they want to give their opinions, they should do so in a respectful and in a manner that is consistent with their oath to the Constitution, to respect a co-equal branch of government. Their failure to do so, I think, is abhorrent, but I don't think it has prejudiced us with additional material that would prejudice this jury. They have been told not to watch the news. I trust they are following those instructions.
Amanda Mackey, your thoughts?
Well, he did say that this case could ultimately be overturned based on what she said. So not only that, Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader, is looking to pursue a censure vote on Maxine Waters and her irresponsible comments that not only incite violence, but also could affect this case. And she needs to worry because I think there are going to be a lot of Democrats that would be willing to support that censure vote. But look, at the end of the day, what she did was go into Minneapolis, incite violence, and basically try to influence a jury and say, you either do as we tell you to do, or we're going to burn down your businesses, we're going to burn down schools, there's going to be attacks on your streets if you don't convict. And not only is that irresponsible, but it is unbelievable that Speaker Pelosi is still backing her.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there from lawmakers. In the meantime, though, this is a very, very tense situation in Minneapolis and cities across the country. We've seen an increased presence of National Guards troops being called in, but specifically in Minneapolis, we've seen that the Reverend Al Sharpton plans to go to Minneapolis. Again, the Congresswoman Maxine Waters making her presence there. Kelly Hyman, is now the right time for these political figures to be traveling to an area where there's such tension, high tension right now, again, during the time as jury deliberation kicks off their first full day today?
Well, I think it's always important to have peaceful protest, but the judge has done a great job in this case. And I do believe in our judiciary and the system. The jurors will listen to the evidence, which they have done, and based on the facts and evidence, will make a determination. And I do believe in the system, and the system will work.
Well, Kelly, I'll go back to you on it because critics point out that the judge is doing a terrible job in regards to not sequestering this jury when it was requested upon them, and then not having this trial moved out of Minneapolis. How do you push back against the critics' concern about this judge, rather?
Well, the judge has requested the jurors now and taken their devices away and asked them not to listen to the media as well. And based on the evidence, the law, the judge listened to the arguments from defense counsel and the prosecution, and based on that, did not feel that it was necessary to move the trial.
All right, David Grasso, your thoughts on it?
You know, I feel like this is emblematic of the establishment politics as usual, each side blaming the other side, when clearly this was inappropriate on Maxine Waters' part. We can go ahead and do the whataboutism about the other side. Clearly, this is inappropriate. This is judge, jury, and trial on her part. Maxine Waters has been part of the establishment for a very, very long time. Why isn't she in her district that has a litany of problems back in Los Angeles? So to me, you know, I understand what happened in Minneapolis was tragic and indicative of racial bias in our system, but I don't believe that Maxine's comments are the best way to address those issues. And clearly they are inappropriate. And I don't believe in confrontational politics, whether it's coming from the left or the right. I believe in unity, and I believe that all Americans deserve stability and fairness, and a lot of that involves, of course, the right to a fair trial.
Yeah, I believe it was Town Hall who had been reporting that Congresswoman Waters had hired, paid for at least some sort of security detail for her way to Minneapolis. So clearly a very tense and sometimes dangerous situation you can find yourself in. Amanda Mackey, depending on what the conclusion the jury makes in this trial, do you think that we could see some violence take place, again, depending on what the verdict is?
I think it's very unfortunate, but I do believe we will see violence no matter what. This has been a very tense trial, and we haven't seen a trial of this magnitude. You go back to Rodney King, 1992. You could go back to, O.J. Simpson. So I think this is on the brink of really creating a very potentially dangerous and tinderbox-like situation. And the Democrats, unfortunately, are only adding more fuel to the fire with irresponsible comments like what Maxine Waters said, but also the fact that, the leader of the Democrats in the House is backing her. I think that's very irresponsible, and that's going to hurt them politically.
Yeah, we continue to wait. Again, just to update viewers here, we continue to monitor that when the jury gets back together, reconvenes. If anything happens in this trial, we're going to bring it to you live, so stay tuned, stay put right here for that. Whether a decision gets made today, it is expected it may take a little longer. Based on, Kelly, in your experience, how long do you think this deliberation would take?
Unfortunately, my crystal ball doesn't work, but, we could have a verdict this week. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll continue to monitor that again. Of course, David Grosso, the other thing a lot of folks are pointing out, too, going back to the conversation, politics getting involved. The mayor, Jacob Fry, of that city also got involved in pointing out, saying that George Floyd died in the hands of police, essentially making villains out of police, and how dangerous this rhetoric can be coming from a political figure such as the mayor of the city at this time. How inflammatory that is, David.
Well, here's the problem. A lot of issues around public safety, policing, and systemic racism are so deeply entrenched in our society that it's hard to reduce to a news soundbite, right? We're talking about the integrated nature of problems in our society, right? And definitely politicians aren't the best source of healing and moving forward, as we've noticed from either side. So, yeah, politicians have one interest in mind: to promote their own political career. So if you're looking for me to say he's bad or good, most of the time politicians aren't acting in the best interest, in our interest, in America's interest, whether it's the mayor of Minneapolis or Congresswoman Maxine Waters. So my general feeling on that. I've said this on this program many, many times. I believe most Americans want fairness, and they want fairness in the system that, we all live in, that we want to promote public safety. We want to ensure that people aren't being discriminated against. All that is just fair and normal.